Hi beautiful people, welcome back. Hope you guys are doing fantastic wherever you are in the world. Happy Wednesday. I cannot believe we are in the middle of the week again. In today's video, I will be responding to Becky, who has two channels on YouTube named Nonsense on the Web and All of the Nonsense. You're welcome, Becky, for the free advertising. So let's just get into this. My usual disclaimer. Please do not take what I say as fact. Feel free to do your own research and come to your own conclusion. As I said, Becky seems to have expectations from me. Let's listen to her expectations.
And Renelle, I'll expect you to start doing your own research in the next year or two, so you can stop looking like a fool. That's why I don't review you or watch your videos, because there's nothing that you're going to prove to me. I can do it on my own with my eyes closed.
First of all, Becky, those videos that I did about you wasn't to prove anything to you. It was detailing how racist you seemed, yet I still believe with my whole chest, as you say, that you are racist. And it also detailed how mean and disgusting you were to Miss Letitia Bias. Secondly, as you stated, I have a year or two to do my research, so I don't look like a fool. Be more specific on what and or who I need to do this research on. As far as I can tell, and that I am aware of, I have done all the research that was needed for me to see that Katie Joy is a disgusting human being. And as for you, I actually watched you in real time being a coward, and would be when you were called to the table. And also, I did my research to see that Katie Joy falsely accused Steve McRae of SA. And when it comes to how you dragged, ill-treated, and falsely accused Miss Letitia of being a fraud and a scammer, I also watched that in real time. So realistically for me, there wasn't any more research that I needed to do, because there then you proved what a lousy human being you are. So you see, Becky, the only reason you feel the need to call me a fool is to make yourself feel better. Or maybe you just feel like a fool. If you had done your own research and educated yourself about the facts as to why I support and defend Steve and anyone else that Katie Joy brings harm to, you would not be coming at me trying to belittle me or any other creator if you knew the facts. But also, on the other hand, maybe you don't want to, or maybe even you're not allowed to acknowledge the facts. Only you know. You couldn't and wouldn't review my videos because you cannot justify the bullshit you were pulling. And sweetheart, my videos could give you quite a bit of insights, and may I add, with receipts about the person that you go so hard for, and that is Katie Joy. But you choose not to watch it because you don't want to see the truth about the person that you are falling on a sword for. Is that all you got to validate your dislike for others and to keep harping on the fact that these people thought you were Katie Joy? Grow up, let it go. Act like the adult you are. It's not healthy holding grudges. Not good at all for one's mental health, and also hatred, as you have demonstrated and shown for Steve McRae, enables you to become unhinged. Not a good look, sis. Enlighten me as to why you hate another man this much, that you have never even met or even had run-ins with. Personally, I'm very curious as to why you would let another man bring you to that point, and even let another man take up so much space in your head. Genuinely curious. Moving on, you decided to go after Tabitha Jane.
By the way, one other thing I want to mention, before you ever stick me in any type of conspiracy with Tabitha Jane, please understand that Tabitha Jane thinks I was a mod for Michelle and thinks I was Sparrow. So until that bitch can get her facts straight and understand that she was so fucking wrong 6 months ago, and if you don't believe me, go look at Burnt Toast video from 6 months ago.
You can't be this petty, holding on to something that you say is false and that you are not, yet 6 months or 8 months later, you still bringing it up and calling another woman that bitch. Once again, how old are you? So Becky, you holding on to something that Tabitha said about you, which you stating is totally false. It seemed as though this has been sitting with you for 6 to 8 months, as you've claimed, and since it's bothering you so much, why don't you just put it out there that it wasn't you. Or if you don't even deal with it, don't mention it. Just keep it moving and forget about it. Especially if you said it's not you. And once again, it is not healthy to hold grudges. And this is very sus. You held onto this grudge for Tabitha because if no one knows who Tabitha is, she goes to all of Katie Joy's hearings with 7M in Minnesota. Becky, are you using that as an excuse to go after Tabitha on behalf of your boss, aka Katie Joy? Because guaranteed, Katie Joy is not happy knowing that Tabitha is there at each and every hearing, and there's no way for her to spin what happens in court. So Becky is doing her bidding for her. At the end of the day, the way Becky portrays herself behind that screen, I would think that she doesn't give a fuck who says what or what they think about her and just keep it moving forward. Clearly not. She holds on to petty shit to go after people who try to hold her boss accountable. He also had to take that jab at EKC people suck.
And they use people like this to do their dirty work and wash their hands of it. They keep their hands clean that way. That's what a true cult leader does. They're good at the manipulation tactics, and they always have a bottom bitch willing to do their run-in of their girls, and that's EKC. Ain't nothing but a bottom bitch. And you little mouthy fucking stand behind the bar. Just go back to what you're good at doing, mixing drinks. Because you look like an utter fool right now, too, co-signing this shit and coming up with lies for this shit. You admitted that this was her on your stream, and she's still sitting here laughing in your fucking face, saying it's not. Who looks like the idiot now, EKC?
Clearly, she's not a fan of EKC. And was that supposed to be shade by telling EKC to go back behind the bar to mixing drinks? You're the one looking like a fool now, Becky. And I'm sure EKC will be very appreciative of you recognizing that she's good at mixing drinks. Why does this woman become so unhinged when talking about people that report on Katie Joy? Especially EKC, Steve, and Vader. This is not normal behavior. Wait for the clip I'm going to show you when she addresses Steve. Now back to EKC. She said that EKC is bottom of the barrel. Honey, you definitely have not. And you are definitely not paying attention to what your boss is doing. That is what I would say is bottom of the barrel. Now let's go to how she addresses Steve McRae.
They fucked with the wrong one this time. I don't play their games. And Steve, I hope you're watching because motherfucker, I'm coming for you. You're the head of the snake that needs shit talk.
Does anybody know what she's saying?
Steve, I hope you're watching because motherfucker, I'm coming for you. You're the head of the snake that needs shit talk. Cult leader. You weaponize people who are unstable, in my opinion, to do your dirty deeds, you piece of ever-loving garbage.
Does it truly make you feel comfortable within yourself to constantly be saying how Steve is a cult leader and he got all these women doing his dirty work? Guess what, Becky? If you do your due diligence, you will find receipts on these YouTube streets of Katie Joy using unstable people to do her dirty work. And are you saying that EKC is unstable too? Because you already said Vader was unstable. Once again, how does Steve make you become so unhinged like this? It's not normal. But let's take a look one more time and try to figure out what she was saying.
And Steve, I hope you're watching because motherfucker, I'm coming for you. You're the head of the snake that needs shit talk.
If anybody knows what she was saying, please let me know down in the comments. And Becky, feel free to enlighten me what you were saying. I had to take a break and let go of my giggles. My dad even came to ask me to share the joke, and what has me so tickled, I just told him YouTube stuff. Now moving on to Vader. They go back and forth calling each other names, whatever. But through watching that live, she did something so fucked up that it needs to be addressed. And she needs to be reminded what a decent human being is. Becky was reacting to a stream Vader had done, and each time Vader mentioned her nephew, Becky would pause and bring attention to Vader saying her nephew. And then some comment that was left on Vader's page, she decided to discuss and proved to her audience that that comment or that person from that comment is a real person and that comment is valid. and that is connected in some kind of way to a certain story Vader was telling. Long story short, to me, Becky's intention by reacting to Vader's stream and validating that comment was to prove that Vader has a child. That is fucked up, because Becky knows full well on the shit her followers do on her behalf. And she can lie and say she doesn't know all day long, but come on. Back to Vader. If Vader did have a child and she's defending and protecting that child from these idiots, I respect her with every fiber of my being. I take my hat off to her for going through such extreme to protect her child from people like Becky on the internet. Then you get Becky saying that she doesn't care if she has a child. Boo. You were trying your darndest in that life to sow seeds in people's heads. A decent, stable person would have acknowledged it and squashed anything in reference to if she has or doesn't have a child. Just stop. Becky, you yourself have cried wolf how this group, and in future and moving forward, be specific with that too, because when you accuse this group, which you have included me in this group, which I don't have a problem with, but when you accuse this group as a collective of doing criminal things to your family, I personally do not appreciate that, because I don't do shit like that. And your subs go hard for you. Be more responsible with your platform. You did that live called "This is my final attempt to reason with the unreasonable." Vader Jade, this is for you. Where in one breath you're saying you don't want her to go through what you went through, yet in the next breath she's not going to like when they touch her. Hello? I will actually leave a link to that full video in my description box. Please feel free and go and watch that video in its entirety. And you be the judge and let me know if that video comes across as threatening. Heck, who knows? You may even like her and stay. But back to how she was fueling people, in my opinion, to dig deeper and find out if Vader has a child. You're not a good person, Becky. Far from it. When that screenshot from Vader's comments was sent to you, you could have done your own research privately, just for your own conscience, but found out what you needed and not shared it, especially if Vader does have a child that she is trying to protect. Pull your dogs off, leave kids out, and don't put them in harm's way to prove something that could end up having a child be in harm's way. As a mother yourself, you should know better. And once again, stop lumping everyone together, especially when you claiming you being slandered. This is the internet. Grow a thick skin. Can't handle the heat? Get out of the fucking kitchen. And let's set the record straight here, okay? You were the one that said that Vader is lying about her brother's demise, because she keeps changing her story, and that you have the receipts, but you won't show the receipts. Where's the receipts, Becky? Because I will link the video to where Vader produced her receipts, and honestly, her story didn't change. That's from the research that I've done. So can I do my due diligence and do my research when it comes to you and produce your receipts, since I'm the one that has 1 or 2 years to do my research, so I don't look like the fool? I'll leave this question to the audience. Who looks like the fool? With all that said, and with ending this, Becky, take your expectations with you right back to the bushes where you choose to hide when you are called to the table. Stop your devious ways to end Vader. Leave kids out of this. Leave Vader's nephew alone. Stop trying to dig into people's personal lives just to once again validate yourself. I will say this again. Be the adult you are and handle things the way an adult would, and stop allowing people to take up for you. You would not need to defend your subs if they have done no wrong. And I suggest you stop being in denial about your boss, aka Katie Joy, and face the facts as to the horrible human being she is. And finally, for 5 years, as you say, people have been going after Katie. You have a damn cheek to fend for her and tell people you don't have to hate Katie to see what people have done to her. No one has done anything to her. She is the instigator. There is a reason why people have been calling Katie Joy out. And some people, like Steve, that takes up so much space in your head. Well, Molly is gone, so you had to have a replacement. Is valid for hating her if he does. Since you gave me 1 to 2 years to do my research, I suggest you take your expectations back. And you take those full 2 years, because you're going to need those full 2 years to research everything that Katie Joy, your boss, has done to other people. That's all. So you guys, thank you so much for joining me. I truly appreciate each and every one of you. Please be safe out there. Be kind to one another. And don't forget, make good memories. Bye, guys.
All you people that continue to bring me into that shit and say that I'm working with Katie, you need to go get fucked.